What is up, guys? So today, since this bike runs but not like it should, it's a little broken, we gotta do some things to it. We're going to start the tear down process on it. The easiest thing to do right now is we still gotta change it. Ooh, I lost that. That sucks. That's not bad. Oh, I'll find it. We gotta change the slow jet and the carb back to a 45. That way they don't die when you just give it a little bit of throttle. New spark plugs will be in sometime today, so we'll have those, but that probably won't get put in until next video because we gotta do the coil as well. So we'll put the new coil on and the spark plug in on the next video, but today we gotta get these plastics off, this seat off, take the carb off, do our jet, and probably take off the stock coil and all that, and then yeah, so let's get into it. Okay, guys. My dog's freaking out about something. I don't know what, but he's freaking out. So, in case you guys have never taken the seat off or the plastics off on the Apollo 125cc pit bike, it's very simple. Take this screw out, the seat slides off, okay? You'll have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and there'll be one right here with this bar. Mine are already out because I never put them back in when I had these off before. But you'll have 4 bolts each side, and your front plastics will come off. We don't really have to mess with the back plastics, so I'm not going to worry about that because the coil goes right here, and you can see that's your front plastic still. So we really don't have to mess with that, thankfully. So yeah, tank shouldn't have to come off. We'll find that out here in the near future once these are all off. So about like 10 minutes if that tank needs to come off for the coil. So let's get to it. Okay, so we're going to start taking everything apart. Flathead screwdriver for the seat. Yours could vary depending on your bike. It's just this one screw for the Apollo 125. And then it slides off like that. I like to put bolts back in where they go. So that way I know that I'm not going to lose them very much. And we need Allen keys for these. 3 bolts on each side. The front bolts you'll have to use a socket and wrench. I don't know the exact size. I think it's 5/16. I could be wrong though. Yeah, it's cold here in Ohio, so gloves are your friend right now for cold tools and just cold weather. That's why I have the bike back here, because I have better lighting back here than I do up there with the garage door shut. So I have this Husky branded Torx Spitz and Allen key set. So if you guys don't have this, I recommend getting it. They are pretty nice for when you start to work on stuff like this. For these Allen bolts, you are going to use a 3mm Allen key. You can use the impact driver or ratchet, don't really matter. Using the impact driver, just make sure that it is all the way on there. because you don't want to round these out, because this is Chinese made, so stuff does round out nice and easy. It's just life. Shitty, but it's life. Oh, what? Okay, well, not using that. Washers are magnetic. Bolts are not, apparently. They must be stainless. Let me find a place to put these. Huh. Well, put them on the ground for now. I'll put them back in their spot once the plastics are off. Okay, seat and plastics are off. Next thing is we're going to start taking the carb off. You can use a wrench on this. I don't. I use a socket set, and I use a I gotta remember what size it was. I think it was a 9 or 10? Or was it? It might be standard. I think it's standard, guys. I'm not sure. My bad. Standard, and your 3/8 drive. And it is a 5/16. Yeah, 5/16. My dog is really freaking out. I don't know why. Probably the neighbor's dog is outside or something. You don't like the neighbor's dog for some reason. It's a female, and he's a male. You think he would. Just real quick, in case you guys don't know how to take your carb off, I will show you that real fast. What is up, guys? Doing a voiceover on this part because the video got messed up. All I do is explain that those bottom 2 bolts that are connecting the carb to the head itself are the bolts that I normally take out to take the carburetor off, because the aftermarket carb uses a nut and a bolt, and it's just easier to take the 2 bolts off the head. That's it. The only other thing you have to do to take the carb off is there's a drain line on the side that you got to pull out of its holder, and it's fine. And where I'm pointing to right now, that is your throttle cable. You just turn that off, lefty-loosey, take that off, it comes off, and then your fuel line comes off pretty easily as well. There's no clip or anything. You just pull it, might have to twist it, but that's it. Other than that, guys, here's the rest of the video. Alrighty, guys, so I'm back. I got it drained. Next things we're going to do is we're going to grab a ratchet, and if you're working on the Apollo, it's going to be the same size Allen key. If you have the Nibby 26mm carburetor, it's going to be the same size Allen key, which is 3mm as you use for your plastics. It's going to be 2 bolts right there and right there. Take those out. I just loosen it and tighten it with the ratchet, and then I switch to taking it out by hand. You guys choose however you want. You can use impact too. I'll sometimes use that to take them out. I will, however, not use the impact to put them back in. Once they're loose, I usually just leave them in and then just raise up the whole thing. Put this somewhere clean. You don't want dirt on the inside of it. Next is for the nibby anyways, you have this plastic piece. Just pops right off. Now you just need a flathead. Regular size flathead's fine. And so you got your main right here, and then you got your slow jet, as I call it, right here. This is the one we want to take out and change. Our main is fine, so we're not going to touch that one. I said I got 45 in here right now. I'm switching it back to a 48 because when I put the 45 in, it messed some stuff up. So now we'll put this 48 back in. Make sure it's clear. It is. Screw this back down. And our main jet is good, so we're not going to change that. You don't have to over tighten these, just give them a good snugged up and they'll be good to go. Now that that's done, we're going to put that plastic piece back on the way it came off. We're going to put our cover back on. Goes on one way, so it's hard to mess it up, but you never know. Even the main one, it goes or the stock one, I mean, goes on one way. Now we're not going to put the carb back on just yet because we still have all the stuff we want to do. We want the most room we can get. So now that the jet's changed, let's get it snug. And we'll put our carb in a safe place. I'm just going to put it right here in this box that it came in for now. It's not going to fit properly. That's where it's going. So we can take our spark plug out now, but we wouldn't advise it unless you're doing it all in one day. Then you can take it out. We're not doing this all in one day because we don't have a new spark plug, so we're just going to leave it in there. That way the hole's just not wide open. But what we are going to do, since we still have the intake hole that's wide open, we're going to put something in there. That way nothing can get in there while we're working around it. You know, no mud gets in there, and just so, well, pretty much so nothing gets in there while we're working on it and while it's sitting. Old t-shirt, you're not going to wear anymore. Works great. That's all I'm using. Just jam it right in there. That's all you got to do. Next thing's next. We're going to take that coil off. I said I don't think we need anything special. Let me look around. See how this actually mounts, because I don't even know how it mounts. So yeah, it looks like it's just bolted on there, guys. One bolt, or nut actually. I don't even think it has an actual bolt. It might just be a welded stud to it, and you just take the nut off. At least that's what it looks like. So we'll get a socket on there and we'll find out. How about that? there's a nut right there. I don't know what it's for. Find out what size this is for you guys. That looks to be. Ooh, I got metrics. I don't have my standard out. So it's either going to be 10 millimeter or smaller than a 10 if you're using standard. Couldn't tell you what it is, but 10 works, so we're going to go with that. And it is just a stud, guys. Oh, not on a stud, so no wrench needed. 10 millimeter for me. Anyways, we'll take this out. And there's a plug right here that you guys can utilize to remove this all the way, so we can get at that right up in here and do what you gotta do to get that replaced, which doesn't look fun, I'll tell you that right now. Let me go grab the new one and see what we gotta do to make that work. Alrighty guys, so looks like we're not going to be able to mount it the same way the old one is mounted, sadly, unless yeah, so we're not going to be able to mount it the way the old one is. Which it is what it is. It's no big deal. Just got to figure out how this gets wired up, and then so it looks like one wire would go to our ground from our harness if we were to use our harness, which we're going to have to. So one wire would get plugged into there, and then the other wire would go up top. The wire that's so kindly right there that we're going to have to crimp a new piece on, which I luckily have, to plug it in. And heat shrink probably wouldn't be the worst idea either. It's the mounting it that we got to figure out on what we want to do. Do we want it up close? You can probably use the same hole to mount it. We're just gonna have to get our own bolt and all that, or you can bolt it probably. Actually, yeah, you can probably just bolt it with this, so it'll probably work like that. Come on. So that's screwed in, so we can actually probably unscrew this from here. Let's have to break this off, unscrew this from here, and it looks like it'll fit through this hole, so we'll probably put on whatever hole we use with our wire, and it should fit right through. We should be able to have enough room for the nut. The only other option would be to, well, that is our only option, really, in all honesty, guys. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and find a way to mount this up the best way, in my opinion. and I'll get back at you guys and show you what I've figured out. Alrighty guys, so I figured out a plan. I had to find a longer bolt that fit the nut that we already had, and I found one. And if you don't have your front number thing, the bolt that goes on top, that's what I'm using. My bike didn't come with it, but it had the bolt up top, so that's what I'm using for the bolt. And the nut is just the nut that we took off already. The bolt that I said we could break off, well, I got it out, but it's just not long enough. So it is what it is. Cut the old wire off. What we're going to do is we're going to trim it back. We're going to put the green. We're going to actually crimp on a fitting that'll go where this bolt is going to go, around here, and clamp it down to here. And then we're going to put on the other fitting to plug into here. And that should be all we got to do for this. And while we're at it, we're going to trim this back and put on our, you know, the plug part. I don't know what it's actually called. So we're gonna do that. I'm not gonna hassle you guys with this. It's very simple. Yeah, use what you got: knife, lighter, side cutters, wire strippers. Strip it back. Strip it back. If you've got a crimper, use it. If you don't, you can use pliers. It's not gonna be as good, but it'll work. I'll just buy a crimper. Usually, wire strippers have a crimper on it, so you can always just use that. And all you guys really need to do is you need to go out to the store, go to Harbor Freight, whatever. You gotta buy for your ground. You gotta buy, it'll be blue end. That's how small this wire is. You want to use a blue end. It's just round, goes around the bolt. That way when you tighten it down, it just gets crimped onto there for your ground. For the black wire, you'll just buy, it'll look like that, but reverse. It'll be a female version of this. That's all you gotta do. So I'm not gonna bore you guys with me doing this, because it is just it's boring. And but I'll show you guys the end result once I have it wired up. I'll show you guys what it's gonna look like on the bike. I'm just gonna put it back in the same location because it should work just fine. And yeah, I'll see you guys here in a minute. Alrighty guys, so you can see, got a clip on. If you have heat shrink tubing, go ahead and use that right there. I have it. I forgot about it. This can still be unplugged for me to put on, but I forgot about it at the moment, so it doesn't matter. Here's my ground. I had a one that already had heat shrink tubing on it, so that was a plus for me. Now we just gotta put our boot on for our spark plug, and we will be able to mount all this up and plug it in. And then once we have the new spark plug, we'll be able to test it. Can't test it with the one that's in it because the boot we're putting on isn't going to work with that spark plug. It's just not going to hold it on there. So, oh well. But at least we'll be able to get this on and put the carburetor back on and do what we gotta do to get this back together. And yeah, so after we do all this, next video will be of the new plug being put in, making sure that this is working right, and then we'll fire it on up and we'll see what happens. I think that's going to be it for this video today, guys. It's going to be a long video, longer than all the other ones, and I got to figure out how to do this. This is something I've never done, so I want to take my time with this. But rest assured, next video you guys will see this getting mounted onto the pit bike, or it might be already mounted. I don't know yet. Probably just wait till the video, that way you guys can see me mounting it and all that. And then we'll have the spark plug. Like I said, we'll have the spark plug in by today, probably around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And so tomorrow is when I'll be making the next video, and hopefully we can get it fired up tomorrow. If not, then I would bank on Saturday that I get this fired up for you guys, and we might go riding Saturday down the road just to test everything out. see if anything else needs to be done, because we're doing a lot of stuff that's going to change a lot of ratios on this. I'm thinking we're probably going to have to, we might have to change the muffler. I don't know how much air this actually, the muffler, how much air gets out through the muffler on this bike, because we're adding a lot of air into it with the 26 millimeter versus the stock 22 millimeter. So it is a big jump. It really is. But worst case scenario, we can take the muffler off for testing purposes and find out if we need to actually upgrade the exhaust or not. Other than that, guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and bell notification icon for updates on when I post new videos or shorts. If you guys liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you guys didn't like it, hit the thumbs down. One thing I'm going to say before I go, though, check your guys' wires on this, only because you can see this is a little burnt. That's not good. So I'm going to put some electrical tape on there to, medicate it a little bit. And so it also, I mean, this is just the ground wire, so it's not a big deal, but you still want to protect it. Check your other one. Just make sure it's all good to go before you guys put it on and think it's going to work. You want to check your wires. You never know if they're melted or not. Thank you guys for watching, though. Have a great day.